Kindergarten history lessons in Virginia to focus on slavery. Activism and action civics opportunities for young students will be promoted. Most adults who attended public school remember early history lessons about American leaders and symbols, George Washington crossing the Delaware, Betsy Ross sewing the American flag. But starting this fall, kindergartners in Loudoun County, a wealthy suburb of Washington, D.C., will be taught a new radicalized history curriculum focusing on slavery and social justice. Loudoun County has elected to partner with the disgraced far-left Southern Poverty Law Center, SPLC, to develop the new curriculum which deliberately paints America in a highly negative light. Sugarcoating or ignoring slavery until later grades makes students more upset by or even resistant to true stories about American history. Long before we teach algebra, we teach its component parts, the curriculum reads. We should structure history instruction the same way. The new curriculum also highlights activism and action civics opportunities for young students in kindergarten through second grade. Students should study examples of role models from the past and present, and ask themselves, how can I make a difference? The guidelines explain. These conversations about slavery should lead into discussions about current injustices, particularly those that continue to disenfranchise and oppress the descendants of enslaved people, and possibilities for activism and reform. In short, public school teachers must prepare their students to take up the mantle of Black Lives Matter. While the decision to teach 5-year-olds about one of the most disturbing chapters in American history may seem extreme, it is being mirrored in school districts across the nation. The New York Times' much vaunted but counterfactual 1619 Project claims to prove that nearly everything that has made America exceptional grew out of slavery. Despite the objections of numerous historians who dispute the narrative provided by the Times, curricula based on the project are now proliferating at public schools across America. The political tenor of the new lessons was confirmed by a longtime Loudoun County elementary teacher who spoke with the Washington Free Beacon on the condition of anonymity, because she feared for her job if her real views about the new curriculum were made known. I teach lower grades in elementary school. Never before did I have to teach about slavery, the teacher said. Our standards were always to teach about famous Americans, George Washington, Martin Luther King Jr., people like that. But it was all very general, and the bigger picture, we highlighted their accomplishments. She noted that the slavery is usually taught beginning in the 4th grade when students have greater maturity to understand it in its historical context. What they're really trying to do is divide people as early as they can, starting now with kindergartners. They're really going to be inciting hate, the teacher added. They're pointing out that there's whiteness and blackness, and that's crazy. We never taught about that in school. We learn about how to get along with one another and be kind and respect others. But now, with this new curriculum that they're adding, it's going to do the total opposite. Max Eden, an education policy expert at the libertarian-minded Manhattan Institute, concurred that the curriculum was not suitable for young children. Students aren't prepared when they're 5 years old to develop a nuanced sense of history and political processes, and pros and cons of different side effects, and unintended consequences, Eden said. What the real goal of this is, by introducing slavery this young, is to try to get the left wing, Nikole Hannah-Jones, creator of the 1619 Project, metapolitical narrative into kids' heads as soon as possible, which is basically trying to compel them to believe that because slavery happened, therefore, America is evil and you must follow the leftist idea of how we need to overturn power in society. Parents in the district also expressed their anger at the politicized curriculum. SPLC is pushing Marxist ideology more or less. They're really pushing those concepts of revolution and dismantling the system that we have, one father stated. So rather than everyone coming together and building something great together, it's about destroying what's been built.